Hello, this is High Templar, welcome to my Total War Warhammer 2 news video, and today we'll be going shortly over the interview that was yesterday about Lord Mazdamundi, and I wanted to point out some few interesting things, basically, about him. So, we've seen his stats, firstly, and you can see that his armor is only 30, he has reasonable leadership, but low speed, very low melee attack and damage, very low weapon strength for the character, because that's pretty much what every hero caster have, and minimal charge bonus. So in general, this guy is very weak, but does have 6400 hit points. So he will lose every fight with every character, like a paladin or, well, pretty much anything. They will kill him, but it will take some time. So this is for the starters, and we do have some very powerful skills here, and this is probably, having said what I said that right now, this is probably one of the most powerful lords I have seen so far. I don't like some things about it, but I will explain why I do believe he is one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful lord I have seen. And maybe those changes will also apply to the lords, legendary lords, in the Warhammer 2 in general. But let's have a look. Firstly, he will have 2 sets of skills, but those skills that you see here, the very essential boosting your troops skills, normally were divided into first tier. So for vampire guns, that was, for example, zombies and skeletons, which was like the worst, really. That was buffing your weakest troops that you were just getting rid of as soon as possible. And only then you have to pick 4, and then you go to the next skill, like we see here, for example, like rally, and then we had another boostings for the more powerful beings, like graveguards, right? So in here, all those skills you have at the very start are with regards to all your units, even the elite ones. So Proud Warriors would probably be applied to your standard infantry, and skirmishers would probably apply to all your skirmishers, which would be mostly skins. Quite obviously, Swift Riders would make your cavalry faster, and Sacred Guardians will most likely affect the old Temple Guardians, making them tankier. Hunt Leader, I'm not sure which units will be more powerful, but obviously this is a damage bonus, and Beast Driver is a bonus to charge bonus. So your beasts would have a higher charge bonus, which is very nice indeed. But as you can see, you can just pick few and then go straight to the next level. And the next level is very powerful indeed, because there are just single abilities, but they look like they will be very powerful, like Jungle Domination, which I assume will be increasing your damage to pretty much all your melee troops once you are in the jungle, basically. And the last ability is not as powerful, but it will be useful, giving you additional leadership and magic resistance to all units around the epicenter, which can be as far as 150 meters out, and 40 meters range is pretty nice. So if somebody is casting a breath spell on you, or actually breath spell would be, you would have to cast it pretty much at the same time as the guy, but it would shield your guys from this magic resistance. All you can cast you can cast it on the spell like Flock of Doom, which will, with that magic resistance, will be much less powerful. Or, I don't know, any vortex spell, just in case it will hit. So this is like interesting thing, but not very powerful. And if you look at the lower tree, it would be pretty much the same. So we know those skills, they were already being used in the other lords. Draftmaster is very interesting because usually we had not very powerful skill here, but right now we had very useful skill that allows him to just rank up the troops that he's getting and then go to the lightning strike. So pick 4 in here, and I would pretty much agree with this choice, or the banded service, depending on how much of a bonus banded service is. And then go into lightning strike and probably those skills, because I do need to have renowned and feared, and I will show you why in a moment. But either way, this is kind of useful, but this tree is something you should really invest. Actually, all those trees are something you should very much invest, because all of them are very cool, and it is not very... I haven't seen that in many legendary lords. So what do we have in the magic tree? In the magic tree we have spells, and there is a change from the previous title, when if you get 1 point you can cast a spell, if you put one more you can overcast, and the third one would be decreasing the cost. So this will be obviously, if you want to spam a spell, it will be very good for you to put 3 points in it, unless you really don't feel like this is worth it. But if you are overcasting a spell, if you are using an overcasted spell a lot, you should really put 3 points in it. But this will be specializing a lot, and I'm not sure you want to specialize. Rolling size we've already seen Warhammer 1, and it so would be evasion. And here we have some more spells that we would be able to see for this legendary lord. Now, this is basically those spells are taken from 3 lores. So this is Lore of Life, this is Lore of Heavens, and this is High Lore. So for the High Elves do have this lore. I would assume Apotheosis is a healing spell. Net of attack is something we use and is very powerful indeed. Shield of Sufferer is a passive skill that is used in a high lore, and I would assume it's missile blocking, as we've seen being used by Teclis, but I'm not sure about it. And we also see Comet of Casadora, Exorcism, and Arcane Unforging. I'm not sure what Arcane Unforging is yet, but we can see that these are pretty nice spells. What I don't like about it is that he only has access to a single set of spells, so this will be 6. So he has twice less than Manfred, and that should not be the case. That really should not be the case. Manfred has more spells to pick than Mazdamundi. Yes, I do agree that those are very nice spells and very useful, but still, Manfred has more of a choice. And I understand that you cannot use 6 spells and all the abilities, additional abilities that Mazdamundi would have very efficiently to micromanage all of that, but I would like to have this option, and I would like to have an option to pick different kinds of spells, because maybe I don't like any of it and I would like to have something else, and Mazdamundi surely has access to all laws of magic in tabletop. Okay, but that's all about the rant. We also have some additional spells here and passive abilities that we don't know much about, but seems like powerful ones, and I will show you some of that. This is why I told you Renowned and Feared is very, very powerful and very useful. You have to only have 4 skills here to get it, and Lightning Strike is pretty much a must in this game, so just pick any. And then you have a hero action chance minus 10%, which is very useful, and chance of wounding the aggressor is also very, very nice indeed. Upkeep for all the units means you would be able to put very elite units in here. Campaign movement range is also nice, and unit experience upon recruitment is another point. So those powerful new units that you will be getting will have at least 2 chevrons on the start, and this is not nothing. This is very powerful in both campaign and head-to-head, especially in head-to-head, right? Then I wanted to talk a moment about the breath attacks. So what we learned about breath attacks previously is that for the Sun Dragon, which is the weakest dragon, his flame attack will be not very focused. It will not be very damaging, but it will be not very focused. And I was thinking something of a breath spell, but as you can see from here, this is not very wide. And as you can see from the second slide, it's very deadly. That was a single spell that destroyed all those units, and those were cav units, so pretty low health units. So if this one is the lowest damaging and widest breath that we have, then the Star Dragon will surely have a laser of some kind. This is another use of the breath weapon that I can show you, and as you can see, I probably would use it on the units, not on the lords, because it will probably not do as much damage to the lord as the Star Dragon, but it seems to be still very, very powerful tool indeed. And in this let's play that they showed on this interview, he used that breath spell in the span of few seconds again, which means its low cooldown is probably limited uses to like 3, but it's not very high cooldown, or at least that would seem from the let's play. And this is pretty much it. I can go back to Mazdamundi and talk about his special abilities for a moment. So quest items, for example, which gives plus 12 missile parry with shields and plus 9 melee defense constantly around him, which is not nothing. And given that his troops are already pretty powerful, he's the second high king at this moment, pretty much, which, given that he's also very powerful caster, is not something that you can ignore. This one gives him additional magic item steal chance, which is also very nice, and this one also enables him some poison attacks. Weapon strength and melee damage is not that powerful because he doesn't have much. Either way, poison is nice. Now we are going to Zlak. Now I want you to look at the stats, and I will go back and forth between Zlak and between Mazdamundi on Zlak and Nad. So hit points went from 6400 to 9200. Okay. His armor went from 30 to 140. His speed to 55. His melee attack and melee defense didn't went up much, but they did. his weapon strength plus 500 up to 420 and anti-infantry and armor piercing, and charge bonus all the way to 70. And at the same time, guys, also shoots a poison missiles. It will be not very powerful, but it will be poison. An entire unit will get poison, which is pretty nice. Now, with those stats he won't be hitting much, but with the charge bonus of 70, once you attack somebody, for those 20 seconds, you would be hitting them, and you would be hitting them hard because it will be added to your melee attack, and it will be almost 100. And with additional anti-infantry bonus, this guy after the charge will be able to break a lot, and I mean a lot. Also, we can see campaign effect that this guy will have upkeep for temple guards minus 50%, which is absolutely extremely powerful, because temple guards would be your strongest troops, will have shields, and halberds will be anti-large, armor piercing and shielded. So pretty crazy indeed. That's for those. Telekinesis will be giving missile chance resistance of 15, not 10 as before. Magic resistance will be also given. Ruination of Cities is a new spell, but it won't be using Winds of Magic. It's just ability on 90 seconds cooldown, so you will be able to use it several times during the battle, and it's a wind spell. And it causes basically 3 rifts spreading outwards, so like 3 separate breath spells of some kind. Duration for 7 seconds, that seems like quite a lot. Seems like very powerful thing, and you don't have to use Winds of Magic to do that. And you can cast another spells at the same time. So this is getting pretty overpowered right now. So this is another point that I wanted to show you, that why I do believe Mazdamundi is absolutely powerful and hard to beat. And he will be the most powerful lord, unless we've seen some pretty crazy things on the other lords for Warhammer 2. And I'm not sure he will be comparable to the lords from Warhammer 1 in the combined map, unless they will make the changes for those lords as well. And yes, this is it. I hope you like it. If you did, press like, comment if you will, and see my other videos. In Total War Warhammer, I'm doing news, I'm doing mod reviews, I'm doing mechanics videos, but also do let's plays in Total War series and other games. Thank you for watching, and see you later.